Hi, this is Susmitha, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Technology. Today we are going to discuss about the unit of cloud enabling technologies. One of the topic is representational state transfer. Representational state transfer, that means REST, stands for Representation State Transfer and API Standard for Application Program Interface. REST is a software architectural style that defines the set of rules to be used for creating web services. Web services which follow the REST architectural style are known as RESTful Web Services. It allows requesting system to access and manipulate web resources by using a uniform and predefined set of rules. Interaction in REST-based systems happen through Internet's hypertext transfer protocol. A RESTful system consists of a client who requests for the resources, server who has the resources. A simple REST interaction between user and server in HTTP specification. HTTP REST client and the server, HTTP server. HTTPS between the HTTP web post and REST payload XML, HTML, JSON, JPEG, like that web post, get, put and delete. Architectural constraint of RESTful API. There are 6 architectural constraints which make any web servicer or listed. Uniform interface, stateless, cacheable, client server, layered system, code on demand. Uniform interface. It should be an uniform way of interacting with a given server irrespective of device or type of application. That means website, mobile application. There are 4 guidelines principles of uniform interface are resource based. Individual resources are identified in request, for example API users. Manipulation of resource through representations. Client has representation of resource and it contains enough information to modify or delete the resource on the server, provided it has permission to do so. Example, usually user get a user ID when user request for a list of users and then use that ID to delete or modify that particular user. Self-descriptive messages. Each message includes enough information to describe how to process the message so that the server can easily analyze the request. Hypermedia as the engine of application state. It need to include links for each response so that the client can discover other resources easily. Stateless. In REST, the client must include all information for the server to fulfill the request, whether as a part of query params, header or URI. Statelessness enables greater availability since the server does not have to maintain, update or communicate that session state. There is a drawback when the client needs to send too much data to the server, so it reduces the scope of network optimization and requires more bandwidth. Catchable. Every response should include whether the response is catchable or not and for how much duration responses can be catched at the client side. Client will return the data from its cache for subsequent request and there would be no need to send the request again to the server. A well managed caching partially or completely eliminates some client server interactions, further improving availability and performance. But sometimes there are the chances that user may receive stale data. Client server. REST application should have a client server architecture. A client is someone who is requesting resources and are not concerned with data storage, which remains internal to each server. And the server is someone who holds the resources and are not concerned with user interface or user state. They can solve independently. Client does not need to know anything about business logic, and the server does not need to know anything about front end UI. Thank you.